Hello and welcome to today's sports interview. Today I have Josh Bullock, the Emory & Henry strength and conditioning coach for the entire sports teams on this campus. Coach, welcome to the show.
Appreciate it, Murph. Thanks for having me.
Well, I know that you're a little sad right now that you couldn't be able to torture me today in the weight room as you usually do, making us do all those squats and making us do all those bench presses and when we're sore and just coming off of games. But, just tell me what is it like being a strength coach for the entire athletic programs here at Emory & Henry College, and what do you try to accomplish?
Well, the first thing we're trying to do, just straight to the goals, is we got three kind of basic goals. The first one is we're trying to make sure that our kids compete injury-free. The second one is we're trying to make sure that our kids improve their performance. And overall, we want to affect the kids not just for their sports season or their career at Emory & Henry, but also their lifelong wellness. So we that kind of three-prong approach. What it's like being a strength coach, well, we have anywhere between 350 and 450 kids that will train at any time in the year, just depending on who's graduated, who's left the roster, who's added to the roster, that type of thing. So it's a logistical challenge, to say the least, but I think we got a good group of kids, and we're really starting to click, so to speak, in the last couple of years. So,
I always say that strength coaches are one of the most important coaches of any team. When that off season hits, you are basically the head coach. You are basically the guy who prepares these athletes for the season. And we all know if you don't prepare in the weight room, if you don't prepare on the football field, then you're not going to be able to prepare, for the game when it comes up. Can you tell me how that makes you feel, and how that, what's your outlook on that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a role that we embrace. And we feel really good about kind of our role within the department. And I wouldn't say that we're definitely not the head coach, but I would say that our job is to really support the head coach in whatever way they see fit to get their kids prepared for competition. And it's a role that we really relish. And I feel like the coaches have put a great deal of trust in us to make sure that their kids are prepared to compete at a high level, number one, and also obviously stay healthy in that process. So, we really feel good about it. We feel good about working with our kids and the role that we have. And obviously, when the kids are successful, we feel like our program's been successful. So,
can you give us a little background to how you arrived, here at Emory & Henry College? Can you just tell us,
Sure.
where you're from, and how you got here?
Yeah. I went. I'm originally from Nevada, so I went to high school just outside Las Vegas, and I went to college in Southern California at a college called the University of Redlands. I took my first job in strength and conditioning just outside of San Francisco in Marin County at a private training facility. And then in 2006, I became the head strength coach back at my alma mater, and I was there until 2012. After that, my wife and I moved to Vermont. She pursued her career in dentistry, so I took a job at two different places in Vermont. Green Mountain College, and then just before that at Killington Mountain School, which is a private ski academy. So we train skiers and snowboarders there, cyclists as well. And then once a good friend of mine in the area had referred me to the job posting for Emory & Henry, and I really liked the job posting, came down, really liked our coaching staff, liked our director of athletics and associate director of athletics and what they had to say, and obviously met some of our kids and really liked our interaction with our kids. And so my wife and I made the move to exit 26. Yeah.
Wow, that is incredible. I can understand if you're from like Tennessee, Kentucky, someplace in Virginia or someplace like that, but to come all the way from the West Coast, from Nevada, I know this has to be a culture shock. How did it feel, moving from California and Nevada and California all the way to the mountains of Southwest Virginia?
Yeah, it's very different, but yet it's the same. And the one thing that we were drawn to about this area is that people here are really genuine, really friendly, and actually care about you as a person. And that was something that was important to my wife and I. I mean, very different experience from what we had in California, where you live in an apartment complex and you never talk to a neighbor. Well, here, your neighbors come by, they say hi, they see how you're doing, and obviously coming to Emory & Henry, which is one of the most friendly, open, wonderful campuses around, where people just come in your office and say hi, and just having a great experience like that. It's a transition, but a very positive one.
Now, you also are one of the overseers of this club called the Strength and Conditioning Club,
Yeah.
which I so happen to be a part of. Can you just explain, what the purpose of that club is and what you're trying to approach? I mean, we know you have like a lot of interns in there, and
Sure.
they're trying to learn how to be strength coaches. What do you want to accomplish with that club, and how do you think it'll benefit everybody who wants to get involved in strength and conditioning
Yeah,
training?
I think the club is awesome. I can't take any credit, truthfully, for the creation of the club or the oversight of the club. All of that is done. It's created by Ryan Mullins, and he's really been supported by the rest of our intern staff, which has been awesome. And they're the ones that really wanted to get more information, but also better information out to our students and our student athletes about how to better perform at a higher level. Not just athletically, but in whatever function of their daily life. And the purpose of the club really is kind of twofold. The first side of it is to bring better resources to campus. So bring outside speakers in, bring information in, and disseminate that information to our student body. And then the other part is we need to get our interns out. We need to get them out so they can meet people, they can meet other coaches, they can get to grad school, get to a graduate assistantship, and get to a full-time position. So that's the purpose really of the club.
Now, we see you pretty much 2 days a week. I pretty much see you every single day because I walk past there, and I see you always smiling at me, waving hey and stuff like that. When we're in there talking to you, you tell us some things that we didn't even know about our bodies. Yesterday you told us about drinking caffeine and how that can help, and things like that, things that I didn't even know. I mean, I always thought caffeine was bad for me. My parents, when I was little, they limited me like to 1 cup, and that was it because I had too much energy and everything else like that.
Yeah.
But can you just tell us, what you learned, throughout your journey that was so important to you that really helped you, become the person you are today as far as a strength coach overall?
Yeah, honestly, probably the most important lessons I learned were when I was a college student athlete myself. And so much of the information now you can read and research, or you can read in a book, or you can talk to colleagues and gain their and kind of garner their experiences and apply that to your situation. But really, the things that I learned that are the most important, and the reason they're up in our weight room is attitude, effort, and attention to detail. And much like many of our student athletes when they come into our program, those are 3 things that they lack, and those are 3 things that are incredibly important for them to be successful. And no matter what it is, it really doesn't matter what the sport or what the endeavor. And I learned those lessons. For me, I learned those lessons the hard way as a freshman because I was, came into a program and I kind of thought I knew a lot. And for me to learn, how my positive attitude needs to be contagious, my attention to detail needs to be meticulous, and my overall effort needs to be better than everyone else's efforts to get the result that I want. And those are the things that I think that's probably the most important lesson that I've learned as a strength coach. But the rest of the knowledge, is available to everybody. No matter what, if it's something as simple as like a caffeine nap or any of those things, you can find all of that information. But having a sound philosophy in terms of developing an athlete is important, but it doesn't. In a lot of ways, it doesn't really matter what philosophy you adhere to. It's more about how you execute that philosophy, and so I think that's probably the most important part.
Well, Coach, we thank you for having you today. I will be there at 6 o'clock in the morning sharp, ready for that 6:45 lifting, so you can be there to endure my suffering and pun it and destroy my body as much as you physically can.
Hey, we'll get you ready to play, buddy.
Hey, that's always a good thing. That's it for the sports interview. I will now turn it over to Andrew McClung for the sports.